Morning and welcome back to another CSS challenge. Today we're going to be doing the daily target for July 24th, 2024. So just taking a look at our target for today, we have this cylinder looking object. How I'm going to create it, I'm going to have one white square in the middle. I'm going to have this green oval at the top and another white oval at the bottom. So let's start off. I'm going to open up my style tag. We actually don't need this closing style tag. And I'm just going to be using the HTML and the body tag to be doing this target. We're not going to need any additional HTML. So let's start off with the background color. We're going to be giving it this kind of yellow color. And now let's move on to the body. Let's give it a height and width. Let's give it a height of 120. And let's give it a width of 280. It's also going to need a background color of this white. And now let's move it into position. I'm going to be doing that using the margin. Let's give it 90 pixels on the top, and left and right we'll give it auto so that it's nicely centered. Now I'm going to be creating these ovals using pseudo elements. We can do that using the body after. The reason I'm doing after, it's a little bit shorter than before. Before is another pseudo element you could use. If you haven't seen these pseudo elements before, it's basically just adding an element after the body. So let's start off. We can give it a height and width. Let's give it a width of 280. We'll give it a height of 40. Let's give it this background color, which is going to be green. Let's give it a position of absolute. And the last thing one more thing we're going to need for it to show up on the page is content, which in this case is just going to be an empty string. And we're going to need to round out the edges with a border radius of 50%. We can also position it. Let's use the top property. We'll move it 70 pixels away from the top here, which is going to be lining up nicely. And now we just need to copy this green oval onto the bottom and turn it white. So we can do that using the box shadow property. We're not going to be moving it left or right. We're going to be moving it 120 pixels away from the top, and it's going to be white. It looks like we have a pretty good match. Let's submit it just to be sure. And we do have a 100% match. There's a few optimizations we could make here if we wanted to get our character counts down a little bit. The first thing we can do, we actually don't need a height and width on our body element. We can do this all with margin. Let's just add a margin of 60 left to right, and it's going to be equivalent. And one more thing we can do, we can nest these selectors together. What we can do, we can change this to the universal selector, which is going to be selecting our HTML and body. Inside we can nest our body. Another universal selector is going to be selecting everything inside these two tags, which is just going to be our body tag. And we can even nest this inside here as well. We can use the ampersand. This ampersand is going to basically be copying whatever is here down here. So this is going to be essentially the same as body after. Yeah, so I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.